Good morning, everyone. Maayong buntag. Welcome to MASTSLinet's 6th General Assembly Meeting and Seminar Workshop. How are you today, everyone? I hope everyone is doing fine. I hope you are all healthy right now. And we are all excited for today's seminar with the theme Contactless User Services for SUK Libraries with a Union Catalog. The role of research librarians in innovating and securing resources for knowledge development during a pandemic. To formally start the program, may I request everyone to please settle down as we start our program with a doxology and to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telos ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pagaw, ay hinagang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng patawad mo'y tagumpay na
And this time, to give her welcome remarks, please help me welcome the President of the Mindanao Association of State Tertiary Schools Library Network, at the same time the Assistant Professor of the University of Southeastern Philippines. Please help me welcome Ms. Wenda D. Sejas.
Good morning, members. Thank you all for joining us here on this MASTSLiNet online conference and 6th Annual Assembly. I especially thank the presidents of all Mindanao State University and colleges for your participation. We're pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us from the beginning since the founding of MASTSLiNet in October 2014. I also welcome as well those of you who are new to our association and the library science student participants also. As others have said, the show must go on, despite of the different experiences, whether good or bad, brought about by this global COVID-19 pandemic. Today marks our 6th annual assembly and we are very proud to be able to host it here virtually with all of you. Just before we get started, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you who helped us make this virtual event possible. My appreciation to our webinar host, the Regalo Touching Lives through Sir Carlos Eclivia, who provided us the webinar jam platform. Our sponsors, the Theologic Incorporated and the Serve Enterprises, and a special thanks also to the mother of our association, the MAST, Mindanao Association of State Tertiary Schools, headed by our current president, Dr. Nelson Cabral, the president also of Zamboanga Peninsula Polytechnic State University. And of course, the officers and members of MASTSLiNet. So we couldn't have done it without you. You have all chosen to be part of our association because of our mission, which is one VAM, one vision, one access, one Mindanao. We need each other to attain our goal, and this is why we are so glad to have you actively participate in our association. I would like to encourage the members and student participants to participate fully for the next 3 days. I wish everyone safety as we go along with our webinar and to the last day, which is our assembly. So stay safe, MASTSLiNeters. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ma'am Wenda, for that warm greetings. Indeed, ma'am, the show must go on for the MASTSLiNet. At this juncture, we will welcome our very own dynamic president of the Zamboanga Peninsula Polytechnic State University. At the same time, the president of the Mindanao Association of State Tertiary Schools Incorporated, no other than Dr. Nelson P. Cabral.
A blessed morning to all members of the Mindanao Association of the State Tertiary Schools Library Network, or MASTSLiNet, in attendance to the 6th General Assembly, meeting and seminar workshop for 3 days bearing the theme, Contactless User Services for SUC Libraries with a Union Catalog, the role of research librarians in innovating and securing resources for knowledge development during the pandemic. These trying times had been viewed with dread and negative outlooks. Perhaps so, the choice shall however be ours if we wish to be immobile in our tracks. With the learner's needs in mind, and this is no face-to-face teaching and learning encounters, and consistent with the theme, this association places its focus on contactless user services in a union catalog, which is very useful to users as this is a list of the combined holdings of several libraries, and that means more to choose from. Also, the librarian plays a major role in trying to make the libraries accessible to all during this pandemic period. It may seem that efforts are done to bring accessibility closer to the doorstep of the user. With the wide membership of this organization, I don't see how they will run short of being useful to today's learners and teachers. Reaching out is the best option for libraries if only to solicit learners' satisfaction. Hence, I call on all librarians to take part in this endeavor of maximizing learning through a more efficient accessibility to its library resources. Participate in this seminar and do your share in the development of knowledge of the learners who have entrusted their education on us. Once again, good morning to all. To God be the highest glory.
Thank you, Dr. Cabral, chal- for that message to challenge us librarians to be the best we can be. At this juncture, um, may I request everyone to please open your cameras as I introduce the participants. We have participants from at least 80 schools nationwide, no, not just from Mindanao, but from Luzon and Visayas, and a participant from Indonesia. So we will start the introduction of the participants in alphabetical order. We have participants from the Asian College of Technology, Adamson University, Agusan del Sur State College, Alafia Filipino Private School, Aldersgate College, Ama University, Arellano University, participants from the Asian Development Bank, Assumpta Academy in Bulacan, Basilan State College, Batangas State University, Bukidnon State University, Bulacan Polytechnic College, Cagayan State University, Carlos Hilado Memorial State College, Cavite State University, Central Mindanao University, Colegio di Kapatagan, Colegio San Agustin, Compostela Valley State College, Cotabato City Polytechnic College, Cotabato Foundation College of Science and Technology, Davao del Norte State College, Davao del Sur College, Davao Medical School Foundation Incorporated, Divine Word College of San Jose, De La Salle University Dasmariñas, Cavite, Don Carlos Polytechnic College, Dr. C.V. Raman University, Emilio Aguinaldo College, Far Eastern University, participants from the J.H. Cerillas State College, Jose Rizal Memorial State University, Kapalong College of Agriculture, Sciences and Technology, Kolehiyo ng Pantukan, La Consolacion College, Manila, Lyceum of the Philippines University St. Cabrini School of Health Sciences. We also have participants from the Mindanao State University Main Campus, Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology, Mindanao State University Naawan, and Mindanao State University Maguindanao. Participants from the Mindoro State University, participants from Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology, New Era University, North Valley College, Northwest Samar State University, Northwestern Mindanao State College of Science and Technology, Pateros Technological College, Philippine Christian University, Philippine Normal University, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Quezon City Public Library, Rizal Technological University, St. Joseph School Foundation Incorporated, St. Teresa Academy Incorporated, San Beda University, Sorsogon State University, Southern Philippines Agribusiness and Marine Aquatic School of Technology, Sultan Kudarat State University, Surigao del Sur State University, Surigao State College of Technology. We have participants from Taguig City University, Taman Rama Intercultural School in Indonesia, University of Immaculate Conception, University of Southern Mindanao, University of Batangas, University of Eastern Philippines, University of Nueva Cáceres, University of Perpetual Health System, University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, University of Southeastern Philippines, University of the Philippines Baguio, UP Los Baños, UP Diliman, UP Mindanao, Urdaneta City University, Wesleyan University, Western Mindanao State University, Wilbur Sigo National High School, Xavier University, Ateneo de Cagayan, Zamboanga Peninsula Polytechnic State University, Zamboanga State College of Marine Sciences and Technology. Let's give ourselves a big clap. Thank you everyone for participating in today's seminar.
And also, we would like to acknowledge the participants from Davao Oriental State College of Science and Technology.
We will also like to welcome our BLIS students from the different BLIS schools in Mindanao. Thank you for participating in today's webinar. At this time, please help me welcome the representative from the Serve Enterprise for a product presentation.
Hi, Miss Micah. Hi, Miss Micah. Please turn on your cam and your audio.
Once again, please help me welcome the representative from Serve Enterprises. So at this time, we'll proceed to give the objectives and rationale for today's seminar. Please help me welcome Dr. Gary L. Bastida, Secretary of MASTSLiNet, Instructor, Head Technical and ICT Services, Davao Oriental State College of Science and Technology.
Good morning. To address the MASTSLiNet one vision, one mission, and one goal, the following are the rationale and objectives of this sixth MASTSLiNet General Assembly. COHA as a database General Assembly at the MASTSLiNet's 4th General Assembly. To further commit MASTSLinet's libraries to networking and union catalog, a training workshop was held. Davao del Norte State College, Panabo City. Last November 2017. College, Panabo City. Last November 2017. Libraries that were successful have been installed their COHA. Others are in the process of applying, while the rest could not yet decide what to do with their databases. COHA had been developing its interfaces and have integrated other features necessary, particularly the latest RFID technology, important to our diverse user applications. While networking has leveled up, the professional competencies of academic librarians also need worth upgrading in line with quality assurance and international accreditation. Among these requirements is for librarians to conduct research and establish establish a publication record. Initial steps have been done.
Yes, Raj.
Initial steps have been done.
Yes, good morning, Raj.
But this needs to be reinforced in order for librarians to invite
Yes, this afternoon.
A focused activity that hopes to publish a professional journal whose content is filled by librarians have been considered as a baby steps. Such output will be used in finally coming out of a professional journal.
Actually, you
that is worth emulating by
replied
other
to my email.
professionals
I mean,
and
to my
associations
invitation
in
that
literature.
you're not sure
The
to
following
attend or
objectives
to
were
participate this
to
meeting.
seal COHA as the union database where all MASTSLiNet libraries are networked, and have access to all
Okay,
these
okay.
records of its member libraries. To decide with finality who among the member libraries would serve as the Koha server, and to firmly commit to install Koha in all member libraries so that networking would be achieved. To discuss other features that could be integrated into the Koha as an LMS so that networking would be fully realized. To contextualize the code of ethics of public servants, local and national reflective situations from workplaces and associations, and to evaluate and assess the suitability of all articles submitted for the first issue of the MASTSLiNet journal that had long been shelved due to some issues and technical concerns, and to form the editorial board for the MASTSLiNet journal and establish policies for implementation, and to review and approve revisions to the MASTSLiNet's Constitution and Bylaws Covenant of Academic Libraries, and set the network next business agenda. And of course, to hold these 6.
Thank you, Dr. Gary Bastida. At this juncture, I know you are all excited for our first speaker. Our first speaker is a foreigner. He is
Sir
from
Carl.
Sir,
sorry.
for the product presentation.
Okay. And before that, we will welcome the representative from Serve Enterprises for a product demonstration. Thank you.
Audio, Miss Micah. Okay.
Okay. Let me just give you a short announcement. Right after the slides, I am going to ask you some questions regarding with my presentation. And of course, prizes will be given, so please stay focused. And I have prepared questions for you. Some are worth 1,000 and some are worth 500, and that will be sent to your GCash. So now, without any further ado, let's start. Alright, so welcome to Serve Enterprises. Read, lead, serve, and succeed. And that is our tagline. Let us move on. Now, how does Serve Enterprises start? The name Serve Enterprises was coined by the initials of a Vander family. S stands for Shane, E for Eden, R for Rovic, and V for Victor. The idea of establishing an organization like this grows out of the initiative, strong desire, and faith of Y.V. Eden, who has been known through PASPC for several years. She knows 60% of the state universities and colleges president. Serve Enterprises has been operating for 14 years, but the people behind the organization have a wide range of experience. A sales force that has been associated with Eden Abando, Ni Alejandro, with her previous employer, joined her to make this new company a new by word in the book business. Previous experiences of Eden Abando, she started as a door-to-door sales representative of an encyclopedia. She was a consistent producer way back in 1990 up to 1995. By 1995, she joined Librarian Trading, which is engaged in a business that caters to state universities and colleges. She transfers to another company with the same business up to the time she finally decided to establish her own. Since this is a husband and wife team, Eden acts as an operation manager and treasurer, whereas her husband is a manager. Now, a company without mission and vision is like a boat without destination. Our vision is to become an established book distributor and guide-centered company that helps and serves the clientele with quality and equality for the equipping and empowering of the students around the country. And our mission is to bestow our institutions, particularly the members of Philippine state universities and colleges, in providing a quality and state-of-the-art educational technology through specialized books and other instructional materials that are essential for the equity and empowering of our students. And to be able to elevate the students from their specialized know-how in any field of endeavor and to excel in the field of their choice. Also to provide quality, reasonable, and competitive books for education. 3. To establish a strong connection with the clientele that will last and to be able to satisfy everyone with the adequate services that our company can provide. And for the last one, to create a God-centered company for every employees and staff in our company as we serve clients with satisfaction. Alright, so we have here the most frequently asked question. So what is Serve Enterprises? Serve Enterprises is a direct importer and distributor of educational materials, even supplier, Filipino or local books and educational CDs. Is Serve Enterprises accredited to the government? Yes, we are accredited to the following: Optical Media Board as local licensee and importer, National Book Development Board, NBDB as commercial book importer and book and or e-book seller, retail and wholesale, and Bureau of Customs Certificate of Accreditation as importer. Alright, so now here are the owners of Serve Enterprises. Mr. Victor E. Evanda as the proprietor and Mrs. Florida Eden A. Evanda as the general manager. And of course, we have Team Manila and Team Davao. So if you have any concerns, please feel free to contact them. And of course, they are more than happy to assist you. So for Mindanao, we assigned Mr. Willie Paulo for the state universities. Here's our location map. So you can search it on your Google. Just simply type Serve Enterprises new office, and then you can check it out.
Thank you, Serve Enterprises, for supporting this year's MASTSLiNet General Assembly meeting and seminar. At this juncture, please allow me to introduce our first speaker for today's seminar. Our speaker is the President and CEO of Trace On, Trace On in Bangkok, Thailand. Trace On is a system integrator and solution provider of innovative hardware and software products, services, and smart solutions, which is headquartered in Bangkok, Thailand. Please help me welcome our first speaker, Mr. Arthit Dararatanaroj.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hi, Artif.
Hi, let me try to get this working real quick.
All right. You can share your screen. Just tap the turn screen on, screen share on. Yeah.
Okay. On here. Okay. So,
Okay.
Okay. So welcome everyone to session 1. So today I'll be speaking 2 sessions. So for the first session, we have deploying and securing library resources with the Koha as a union catalog. So here we go. So I'm pretty confident that most of you here as a librarian, as a teacher, are already quite familiar with the Koha LMS or any other LMS as the matter. So today I'll explore more on how we can leverage hardware integration with the LMS so that we can better unionize library services and resources. First, we need to be able to conceive the union catalog as a single network of interconnected libraries, right? Whereby information and resources are shared and exchanged between libraries. And with that, members users can access and utilize services and resources from any of these network libraries. But to successfully network the libraries together, we need what we call a uniformity, right? So to be precise, what we need is what we call a data uniformity. It means that all the libraries involved need to conform to the cataloging standard in order to successfully deploy a union catalog, right? So what is data uniformity, right? So we need data uniformity because we need to be able to identify the same resources between different libraries to actually be the same resource, right? So we have the same book from one library, it should be the same as the other book from the library. So that's what it means to be a data uniformity. Otherwise, the union catalog would not work just as well. So now that we have our union catalog using the LMS, the library management system, we next look at the integration between the hardware and the LMS on what and how data exchange between them, right? And once we know that, we can start to see what kind of hardware integration or what kind of new solution are possible together with the hardware and the LMS. So hardware and LMS can communicate by one of 2 ways, as we know, right? So the first way, we have what we call the standard interchange protocol, or the SIP2 protocol for short. Or we can use the application programming interface, or the API. Now, the SIP2 protocol is a protocol made by 3M by many years ago, and that has its limitation. On another hand, now we have the API, which some LMS already support the use of API, right? So API give more flexibility when integrating 2 or more systems. And with more flexibility, we can hope to do more things as well. So we need to find out what data we can actually exchange between the hardware and the LMS, and what data are actually available for us to use. We also determine what kind of solution we can offer to our users. So some of the example of data that we might be able to exchange or integrate between the hardware and the LMS may include data like user information, which may include user ID, faculties, years, and so forth. And we also have the book information, right? So we have the number of books available, book name, the ISBN, and all the other books information, and as well as the policies and the conditions set out by the libraries. Also, is the type of data we can connect to. And there are also other type of data we can actually connect between the LMS and the hardware to come up with a better solution for our users. Okay, so here we have a short video. So you can see that libraries can use hardware to perform and help with different tasks, right? So I would like to show you a video of our intelligent library solution, just for you to get some ideas, some awareness on some of the hardware that we have actually integrated with the LMS today. So please watch. Okay, so from the video now that you can see some of the hardware, right? You can see that library can use hardware to actually help perform with different tasks, different functions through the simple local system architecture that I have here, right? So each of the hardware, like what you see here, the barrier gates, the self-check kiosks, and the other products that you have. We connect that back to what we call the Trezon server, or just the local server. And then using either the zip2 protocol or the web API, we can actually also connect to the library management system or the LMS, right? We can also use the API or the web API to connect to other third-party systems as well. So Union Catalog is about what we call and going further, we can integrate the local network together, right? So in the slide before, we have what I would call the local network. So we integrate each local network, which represents the library, into what we call a central server, or in this case, we would call it the Union Catalog, right? So as you can see in this architecture, by integrating different local networks together, it is possible for services and resources to be shared across this global network of libraries. So the Union Catalog is really about what I would call a resource sharing, right? But the most important question that we have is how we actually manage the resource. So imagine if we have maybe 10, 20 libraries in the network. It will not be so simple to actually share the resources between these libraries. And if you have a user borrowing from one library and returning at another library, that resources must also somehow be returned back to its owner library, right? And what if we have maybe hundreds of these cases each week, each day? So we start to see the complexity and the labor intensiveness in the resource sharing issue, right? And that's precisely why hardware are actually quite useful for the Union Catalog. Hardware helps to eliminate or ease the labor intensiveness needed to actually manage each task and function manually. So like in this slide, we have what we call a book return, right? So left we have the staff helping the student to return the books, and then on the right we have a book return kiosk to actually accept the book return. So in this picture, you just see and then you ask yourself which one is actually the easier option for your users for the Union Catalog. But what if we can make that even easier? What if it can help you sort return books based on where it came from? So here in this video, we have what we call an order sorter. So the order sorter actually sort returned books for you based on the conditions set by the library. So the library can set which bin the book will return to based on which library it came from, or which category of the books it is, or what faculty the books are. So this can be set freely by the library, right? So the order sorter can start from 3 bins, as you can see in this video, up to any number of bins you might want. So for our case, this would be tremendously useful and time-saving, as it can help to sort returned books from different libraries for you. So looking a bit more closely at the process, it would be something like this. So we have library 1 registering new books, making it available online in the Union Catalog here. And then you have member library from library 2 looking at the Union Catalog to find this book available at library 1. Then this user, in our case, travel to library 1 to borrow this book, and after he finishes, he then returns the books back to his own library number 2. So you can see in this example that A resource can be shared through a union catalog using hardware to assist, making the whole process relatively simple, right? But this principle of using hardware to assist via union catalog is much simpler. Is much simplified here in my presentation. To actually deploy such a system or solution is a bit more complex than what I have presented here, right? So there could be many reasons that would limit the ability to deploy. It could be because of resource management issue. It could be due to internal policies, budget restriction, or it could simply be based on technicality. So this particular session for me is really just to give some overview on using hardware with the union catalog, and not particularly focusing on the LMS part, right? And as I did not get so much into details of things, right? If you have any question for me, I will try to answer them as best as I can. And that is session 1 for me. Just a quick slide for you to get some idea.
Hello, everyone. If you have questions for Mr. Artit, you can raise your questions right now.
Just use the chat box for your question so that we can address your queries.
Kindly key in your questions at the chat box provided for Mr. Artit. Thank you. Okay, if you have no questions, so before we proceed to our
So,
next
Sir
session,
Carl, there is one question.
okay, Sir Marky,
So,
what's that?
sir, here's her question. How much is the cost of that LMS or smart library thing, sir? Again, how much is the cost of that LMS or smart library thing, sir?
Can you repeat that question again for me, please?
Okay, the question is, how much is the cost of that LMS or smart library thing? Again, how much is the cost of that LMS or smart library thing?
So you mean the cost of the LMS or the cost of the hardware or the smart solution?
The LMS, I guess, sir.
The LMS, well, the LMS Koha is actually an open source program. So what it means by open source, I would assume that it's a free downloadable LMS, right? But you need to actually further develop that to match with the need of your library as well. So it would be quite difficult to answer the actual cost of the LMS or the Koha LMS, as you need to really tailor that LMS to suit your library, and the cost could be different for different libraries, right? So you have small library and larger libraries requiring more or less function than other libraries. So it really depends on your requirements here.
Okay, sir, thank you for answering that question. Maybe they can raise their concerns to you, sir, directly. They can send their queries to you about the costing.
So, sir, there's another question from Mr. Gary Bastida of DOSCST. Does it need faster internet connection? How about the maintenance of both hardware and software?
The hardware doesn't really require internet connection as long as we have the local network, right? So you can view the solution as kind of like an intranet. So as long as the network is online inside the campus, this is okay not to have the internet, right? And your question about the maintenance, what was your question on the maintenance again?
How about the maintenance of both hardware and software?
Both hardware and software, typically the standard maintenance is 1 year for the hardware with regular preventive maintenance, which means that our technical staff will go to your campus and then they will try to examine the hardware, and then they will give you a checklist of their hardware tests. For the software, similarly, we also provide a 1 year maintenance. So we provide remote supports and we solve any problem for you if you have on your OS.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that. Any questions? Participants, please key in your questions at the chat box provided. So if none, so before we proceed to our next session, may I call back the representative of Serve Enterprise for another presentation and a little surprise for all of us. Thank you.
So let me just continue my presentation early.
Miss Micah, turn on your mic. Thank you.
And of course, our showroom. So as you can see, we have a lot of goods from different categories. So we have first floor, second floor, and third floor for the living end. Alright, so what's new in Serve Enterprises? Alright, so we are inviting everyone to please join our online and offline group here. So the schedules are to be announced, and we are hoping that through this platform, we will be able to help you in selecting quality groups. And of course, for soon, we are working on some rare and special ebooks that cannot be seen on printed copies. So in partnership with US and UK publishers, and we'll be posting on Lazada and Shopee, and for some special collections, not only books, but other materials also. Thank you for your time. For more information, please visit our website at www.serveenterprisesph.org, and you may also want to check our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/serve-enterprises. And we also have a Carousel account at www.carousel.ph. /Librarians. And you may also send us an email through the following email addresses. And you may also want to contact us at the following number, so you can call us or you can text us. Alright, so I think that would be all, but of course, we have prepared some questions for you. But are you ready for the questions? I think everyone is ready.
Yes, ma'am, they are ready.
All right, so my questions are worth 1,500. So you can chat your answers regarding with my presentation. Okay? All right, so here is my first question. What is the tagline of Serve Enterprises? It is worth 500.
Key in your answer in the chat box.
So what is our tagline? All right, so we have here Miss Joy Solana, read, lead, serve, and succeed. Okay, let me just take a photo of this one. And then can you please type your GCash account so that we can send your money right away. That is worth 500. So we have here Joy Solana. Okay, next question. Are you ready? My next question is, how long does Serve Enterprises exist? It is worth 500 also. All right, so we have here Miss all right, Irma. The first one is Irma Ambolong. All right, so we have 500 for you. Okay, so for the third question, what serve stands for? That is 1,000. That is worth 1,000. What serve stands for? What is the meaning of serve? It must be complete. All right, so we have here Francesca. Okay, Francesca May Villaser. Okay. Oh, Rovic, it should be R-O. Okay. So Francesca May. So send your GCash. Okay, that is 1,000 pesos. Okay, for number 4 question. Who is the general manager of Serve Enterprises? That is worth 500. Who is the general manager? Sino to si Irma? Si Irma po yung kanina po. 500. Sulat natin. Opo. Who is the general manager?
Oops, not Victor Abando. All right, so we have here Florida Eden. Oh, all right, so we have here Erlyn Payos. Okay, just send your GCash. Okay, so now for number 5. How many teams do we have? How many teams? How many teams? Number of teams. All right, so we have your, wow, Irma. Oh. Okay, so according to our general manager, once you won the game or the first question, you're not able to answer again. So let's give another chance for no, it's Bernie. Okay, it's Bernie Ray Palon. Send your GCash, Mr. Bernie. Okay, so for number 6. Wow. Okay, so for number 6 question is, what is the name of the proprietor? Proprietor, what is the name of the proprietor? Name. It must be complete name. It must be a complete name of the proprietor, not just the first name. All right, so we have here Grishel. Okay. So Grishel, where is your answer? All right, so Grishel, Mr. Victor Banda, send your GCash. All right, so number 7. So where is the main office of Serve Enterprises? Where is the main office of Serve Enterprises? Wow, all right. It's a complete answer. Mark Andrew. Okay, send your GCash. Worth 500. That is worth 500. Okay. All right. So number 8 question. That is worth 1,000. Okay. So what is our website? What is our website? That is worth 1,000 pesos. Oh, what is this? Wow, Google Maps. All right, so we have here RTL. Okay, so Serve Enterprises. Wow. Okay, so can you please send your GCash? Wow. Okay, I love this. Okay, so for number 9. So for number 9 question, what is our Facebook page? Facebook page. That is worth 1,000 again. All right, wow. Okay, so we have here Carl Joseph. Okay. So please send your GCash. Okay, so for number 10. All right, so for number 10, so what is our carousel account? Okay, that will be our last question.
Mayroon pa 40,000. Ano ang soon na buksan natin? Okay.
Okay, carousel account. Carousel. Carousel account. That is worth 1,000 again. Yes, carousel account. Who have the carousel account? Who knows our carousel account? Oh, wow. Okay. Paulina Baba. Okay. Carousel / Brighter Minds. Okay. That is worth 1,000. And for the last two questions, or one question?
For 2,000.
Okay. For 2,000 pesos. Okay. Here's the question for 2,000 pesos. So, what's new in Serve Enterprises? What's new in Serve Enterprises? That is worth 2,000 pesos. But if you won already, let us give chance to other, okay? What's new? All right. Okay, so other answers are online and offline book fair, right? But according to the general manager, you can search it on Google Maps.
Those are really said. That is worth 2,000.
That is worth 2,000.
Google Maps doon sa release.
Not the online and offline book fair. Okay, not the online and offline book fair. Not that one. Not QR code, sorry. You can search it on Google Maps.
The one we present, self-release.
What can you search in Google Map? Oh, not live selling. Not Google Mapping, GPS. All right, so we have here new serve building, Elisa Montesilio. So please send your GCash, and that is worth 2,000 pesos, okay? So Elisa Montesilio, that is worth 2,000, okay? Send please send your GCash number.
That's the best, the best abilities at the
Because the new building is the best blessing that came from God. Okay, that is worth 2,000. So I think that will be all for today from Serve Enterprises. So for those people, please send your GCash number and let me check that. Thank you.
Thank you, Serve Enterprises, for your unwavering support to the MASTSLiNet. We are all looking forward to more years of partnership with you. God bless Serve Enterprise. So at this juncture, let's proceed to another session with Mr. Artit. Session number 2 is about contactless user services for SOOC libraries in response to the challenges. So again, please help me welcome Mr. Artit Dararatanaroj.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so welcome to session number 2. So our session number 2 topic is contactless user service for the SUC libraries in response to the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are right now in the middle of the COVID-19, right? So this is actually a very relevant and interesting topic that we have. But before I dive into the actual topic of the services, I would like to give everyone a new perspective that I have on technology, and also on the role that the COVID-19 has as one of the catalysts on the technology. So right now we are living in what I would call a technological era. So now, how is this relevant to our topic? It is because contactless services are possible only through the use of technology, meaning that without technologies, we would not be capable of providing contactless user services. And so, as technology continues to evolve, we will be able to keep providing newer and more effective kind of service. So we need to keep evolving our technology in order to get new services. And we may not realize, but library has to evolve. So for the past few decades, we actually evolved from using and what we would call an integrated library in the 90s, which is pretty much just using the LMS systems. And then we move on to what we would call an EM library, which is the electromagnetics library in the year 2000s, using it as a kind of a security systems. And then in the year 2010, right, we use what we would call a self-service library. So self-service library actually uses RFID to help with the self-service of the students. And then now we are moving on to the next level of evolution, right, which is what I would call a smart contactless library. So that is what actually is happening today, and that's how library has evolved from the integrated library to now the smart contactless library today. And as with all evolution, you can see in the slide, this evolution will create what I would call a new service model, right? So the old service model, you might have different functions, different tasks, being controlled by staff independently, separately. In this new service model, we use technology to integrate all the systems. So we have the borrow return, we have access control, and then we have the other systems that we have here being controlled from one single point. So this is the new service model of the evolution into a smart contactless library. So this new way is to use technology that we now have today to create a smarter, more integrated library that is capable of being fully automated and unmanned. And in this new way, we will be able to offer our users a newer and more comprehensive experience. So you have what I call an old era. So all the traditional service you have here, you have borrow, you have returns, security, LMS, OPAC, you have facilities management, you have utilities for your users. Now we add the new service experience to that. So you might have e-library, you have online video, you have solution IoT, which is the Internet of Things, you have automation, you have co-working space, application online. So all these new services are now being added into the new library service experience, right? So this experience actually will encourage smarter, more effective, more efficient interactions, accessibility to resources, and also enhances security and safety for the user. But when we think about all of this, you ask yourself, why do technology evolve? Why do we need technologies, right? It is because people really just want the convenience of technology, right? And we need technology for convenience. So today we have the convenience of the internet, we have the convenience of smarter things, of IoT, we evolve our technologies simply for our very own convenience. And because of that, people now expect smart experience. And we are also expected to provide such experience. So, those experiences include continuous value, contactless services, self-service experience, smart technology, convenience, interaction. So all these other experience, or what I call the smart experience, that people now expect from us. Now, as one of the catalysts, the COVID-19 has actually accelerated or helped with the technology evolution. So as you can see in this graph here, right, we have times, we have the velocity of change, and then we have this graph, this line here, that you can see our normal growth with the technology. But because of the COVID-19, or we call the coronavirus accelerant, it's actually accelerated our adoption of technology. So instead of using this technology 5 years, 10 years from now, we are now accelerating and using that technology earlier in our everyday life right now, which consequently also add new expectation for our contactless service into our life much earlier than we anticipated. And so, in response to the COVID-19, right, let us begin with a short video on our contactless service solution that we actually did for a customer here, the Chulalongkorn University. So please watch this video on our contactless service that we did for them late last year.
สำนักงานวิทยาทรัพยากรจุฬาลงกรณ์มหาวิทยาลัยการขยายพื้นที่จัดเก็บและบริการสารสนเทศมาที่ชั้น 2 และชั้น M2 ของอาคารเฉลิมราชกุมารี 60 พรรษาหรืออาคารจามจุรีสิทธิ์ตั้งแต่วันที่ 27 มีนาคม 2560 โดยร่วมมือกับหลักสูตรสหสาขาวิชาของบัณฑิตวิทยาลัยและคณะต่างๆในสาขาวิชาวิทยาศาสตร์สุขภาพและแก่คณะพยาบาลศาสตร์จิตวิทยาสหเวชศาสตร์และวิทยาศาสตร์การกีฬาทำให้ที่ห้องสมุดแห่งนี้มีทรัพยากรสารสนเทศให้บริการมากกว่า 60,000 รายการและในปี 2563 โดยการสนับสนุนของธนาคารกสิกรไทยภายใต้โครงการ CU Next ซึ่งจุฬาลงกรณ์มหาวิทยาลัยมีข้อตกลงร่วมกับธนาคารกสิกรไทยในการพัฒนาระบบสิ่งอำนวยความสะดวกหรือสิ่งอื่นใดที่จะยกระดับคุณภาพชีวิตในรั้วมหาวิทยาลัยสู่การใช้ชีวิตในสังคมดิจิทัลและรองรับรูปแบบการใช้ชีวิตของนิสิตและบุคลากรให้มีความสะดวกสบายยิ่งขึ้นบนวิถีชีวิตดิจิทัลร่วมกันพัฒนาห้องสมุดในรูปแบบ Unmanned Library ประสานนวัตกรรมการบริหารจัดการห้องสมุดผ่านเครื่องบริการอัตโนมัติและการบริหารจัดการอาคารด้วยเทคโนโลยีทางไกลเพื่อลดข้อจำกัดด้านบุคลากรและเวลาในการให้บริการเพิ่มประสิทธิภาพในการบริหารจัดการทรัพยากรสารสนเทศและการใช้พื้นที่อย่างสะดวกและปลอดภัยเพื่อเป็นต้นแบบห้องสมุดที่สามารถบริหารจัดการได้จากระยะไกลเป็นแห่งแรกของประเทศไทยภายใต้ชื่อ Jula Ultimate X Library องค์ประกอบสำคัญที่ช่วยให้ Jula Ultimate X Library ให้บริการในรูปแบบ Unmanned ได้ก็คือระบบอัตโนมัติและระบบเทคโนโลยีสารสนเทศที่ผู้รับบริการสามารถรับบริการต่างๆของห้องสมุดได้ด้วยตนเองผ่านเครื่องให้บริการอัตโนมัติสามารถติดต่อสอบถามข้อมูลต่างๆกับผู้ให้บริการผ่านเทคโนโลยีสื่อสารทางไกลนอกจากนี้ผู้ให้บริการยังสามารถควบคุมการเปิดปิดห้องสมุดควบคุมไฟส่องสว่างระบบปรับอากาศระบบเสียงประกาศระบบรักษาความปลอดภัยระบบป้องกันทรัพยากรสูญหายเครื่องยิงหรือคลื่นหนังสือด้วยตนเองเครื่องลงทะเบียนสำหรับบุคคลภายนอกผ่านแอดมินโมดูลบนคอมพิวเตอร์แท็บเล็ตหรือโทรศัพท์มือถือผ่านเครือข่ายอินเทอร์เน็ตได้จากทุกที่ทุกเวลา โดยไม่มีข้อจำกัดด้านเวลาและสถานที่เพื่อขยายเวลาให้กับการเรียนรู้ที่ไม่มีขีดจำกัดนอกจากนี้สำนักงานวิทยาทรัพยากรยังไม่หยุดยั้งที่จะพัฒนาห้องสมุดแห่งนี้ให้เป็นห้องสมุดต้นแบบที่ทันสมัยด้วยโครงการพัฒนาบริการในอนาคตอาทิการเปิดให้บริการแบบ 24/7 การพัฒนาให้เป็นพื้นที่อเนกประสงค์พร้อมเป็นแหล่งจัดกิจกรรมการเรียนรู้ตลอดจนการนำเทคโนโลยีใหม่ๆเข้ามาช่วยในการบริการเพื่อให้เป็นพื้นที่เรียนรู้ที่รองรับไลฟ์สไตล์ในปัจจุบันและอนาคต
Okay, so now that you have seen the video, so we question ourselves now, what is contactless user services? So the way I actually define the contactless user services is any service that a user can self-serve. So that's one. Two, services that a staff can serve without being in physical contact. And three, services that a system can serve automatically. So you can see here that contactless user service for me is actually any service that can be provided without being in physical contact, either by the user, by the staff, or it could be a system which is automated by the system itself. And why is this important against COVID-19? So ultimately, because we are trying to enforce what we call a social distancing, right? So social distancing is to reduce physical interaction, which will reduce the risk of infection. So contactless user service will help reduce that physical interaction, encourage social distancing to reduce the risk of infection. But when we talk about contactless user services, it's actually a pretty big scope. There's a lot of things that we can actually do with providing the contactless services. So we can categorize or we can visualize the contactless services into three main types. So the first one, you have what I call an online services. So user can use online from their own devices, including remote learning, e-library, which is ebooks, audiobooks, and then you might have other type of online-based services. And then you have what I call the hardware services. So user can use that service by physical interaction. So you have self-service kiosks, you have access control, and you have other hardware-based services. So you have the online now, you have the hardware service, and then the third one is you have the system services. So system service include things like building automation to control lights, control the air conditioning. You have the security system which control the CCTV, the speakers, the fire alarm. So those are what we call the system services, which also include other system-based services as well. Now, what does TraceOn actually offer in terms of these contactless services? So in this slide, you can get an overall idea of different services that we can help you with. So we have what we call the intelligent library solution. So intelligent library solution is pretty much to assist with all your library functions. So you have the self-check kiosk, the security gate, you have the register kiosk. So you have all the things that you just seen on the video to help with your library functions. And then you have the digital platform, which is pretty much a website or an Apple Android application for your ebooks and as well for your e-library services, right, for users. So those are the digital platform that we have. And then we have what we call the smart solution, right? So smart solution will give your library more range of different kind of services. So for a library, you can actually provide more contactless services than just library books or borrow and return. You might have meeting rooms, classroom sharing, learning capture. You might have a conference, smart reservation systems, even a movie theater or a media theater, and you might provide also tablets and stations for your students. So these are the other kind of smart solution that we can offer to your student or to your users. So here's a closer look at our intelligent library solution. So I will take you through some of these products that we have one by one, just to get some idea of the hardware, of the solution that can help you with the COVID-19. So the first one, you have what we call the digital signage. So digital signage is pretty much for your all-purpose announcements. You can also announce important announcements like the COVID-19 related issue or promoting COVID-19 awareness to your students. So digital signage can be controlled from your system. So you can add video, you can add presentation, you can add pretty much anything on screen and anywhere to your digital signage. And you also have the smart locker, right? So the smart locker is actually useful for a couple of functions. So you can use the smart locker for book reservation. So a student might reserve a book from your library, and then you have one of your librarians to put that book in the locker, and the student can come to the locker, use their smartphone, and then they can open the locker from the barcode that they have, and then they can take their book reservation. Another function of the smart locker include the item or luggage deposit. So before they enter the library, they can leave their items outside in the locker safe. And for also borrowing other library resources. So if you have maybe resources like a tablet, HDMI cables, or any equipment, you can leave that in the locker. The student can come, they can put in their ID, and then they can borrow that item by themselves without intervening with your regular routine for the staff. And then you have the book sterilizer, which is this one here in the middle. So the book sterilizer disinfect the virus like the COVID-19. It can also disinfect bacteria and other germs, which uses the UV sterilizer technologies. And then we have here the register kiosk. So register kiosk is used for non-members. So it's what we call the visitor, right? So visitor can self-register using either their national ID or their passport to get access to the library, and visitor can also pay for that access. So we also accept electronic payments for that as well. And then we have the book return, which the user can use to self-return books, and return book can also be sorted automatically. So return books can be accepted here at the book return, and the book return can be placed pretty much anywhere in your campus. It could be outside your library just for the convenience of your students. And then we have the access barrier, which is the access control to control the access to the library. Now the special thing with the access control right now during the COVID-19 is that we can install the temperature scanner to help scan COVID-19, possible COVID-19 infected persons. So if a person have a temperature above a certain level, and if the scanner alerted, and then if the person tap the card on the access control, it will not actually open. So we have integrated this control, temperature scanner control, together with the access control. And then we have the security gates, which help to prevent and alert improper removal of library resources, which is which normally in this case could be your books, or it could be your CDs and DVD, Blu-ray. So any item that are tagged with a RFID labels, we can detect that when it exit the library, and then we can alert the staff of improper removal. And then we have what we call the staff station and the UHF RFID tag. So the staff station are used for registering RFID tags with library resources or library books. And in normal circumstances, it can also be used for the staff to help with the borrowing and the returning of books for the students. The self-check kiosk here, you can use that to, or student can use that to self-borrow library books. And the self-check kiosk can also be used to communicate with the library staff remotely in case the student requires some kind of an assistance from the staff. And then we have the search station, which user can use to search the books. It's pretty much an OPAC kind of system, and then the user can use that to navigate to the exact location of the book by a map that we can print out from the search station. And then we have the mobile checker. So the mobile checker, the staff can use that for two things. One, the staff can use that to search for a particular book from the shelf, which is very quick. Or the staff can use that to perform an annual or a semi-annual inventory check of their library resources or their books. And lastly, we have the book scanner, right? So book scanner actually make books available electronically. So book scanner is used to scan your physical books, and then you can store that in either a PDF format, and then you put that on your digital platform. It also, which the ebooks also help to reduce physical interaction and also provide some convenience to your users as well. So now I believe that you have some ideas on making changes to your library with technology for a smarter, a more contactless, and ultimately to provide a better service and convenience for your users. So that wrap up my presentation on this topic on contactless services. And if anyone has any question for me, I'll be happy to answer.
So if you have questions for Mr. IT, please use our chat box, and then I will be reading it. Any questions, participants? Actually, sir, there's a question from the first session a while back. I'll read the question, sir. It's from MSU Maguindanao, Miss Evangeline Verano. She's asking about the warranty period, Mr. Artit.
Okay, the warranty period for the hardware or for the LMS? Hello.
Yeah, hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you said the warranty for the hardware or the LMS?
I guess both the hardware and the software, sir.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, the standard warranty or the maintenance is 1 year as a standard warranty, and that includes any kind of technical support, on-site support, and remote support that we have as well for both the hardware and the LMS.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Another question from Dr. Wenda Sejas of University of Southeastern Philippines. Sir, do you have a technical staff or representatives here in Mindanao? Or in general in the Philippines?
Yes, we have a team in the Philippines that we keep in contact with. as well in there. So our technical staff here also assist with the technicality with the team that we have there in the Philippines.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question from Dr. Brescio Merced of University of the Philippines, Mindanao. Sir Briggs, what's the question, sir? Anyways, is there any other question from the participants? Sir, Mr. Marced from UP Mindanao is asking how much is the platform?
The platform for the ebooks, right?
Yes, sir.
We actually offer the platform for free, but that does not include the actual ebook itself, right? So the cost of the platform will depend on the amount of ebooks you buy and also the actual ebooks that you buy. So different ebook will have different costs. But currently our ebooks are available mostly in the Thai languages. So we only have a few ebooks for the English version and so forth. So we are hoping to get more books based in the English language, and we also expect that we will try to acquire more ebooks that is more relevant to the Philippines and your schools and universities. But to answer that question is that the platform is free of charge, but the charge will come from the ebooks that you buy.
Thank you, sir. Another question from Regalo Touching Lives. How many days are you going to install the hardware?
How many days to install the hardware, right? That is really depends on how many hardware pieces are we gonna be installing. But the one that you seen in the video in this slide, we actually took about 2 weeks to be on site. But before that, we also have a lot of things that we need to prepare. So it actually could be 1 or 2 weeks on site maximum based on the amount of hardware that you buy.
Sir, thank you. Another question from Sir Eclevea. Who are the publishers of your ebooks, sir?
The publishers of my ebooks, so we are actually a platforms that sell ebooks. So we acquire ebook from all the publishers here in Thailand. So we have different publishers here. So it could be a private publishers. It could also be published from the university. So there are actually more than one publishers that we have in our platforms.
Okay, sir. Another question from Hermicilia Sarkit of Central Mindanao University. The question is, how much is our minimum ebooks purchase to avail the free platform?
I would say the minimum amount would be at least a 1,000 ebooks, I would say, but it would also depends on the cost, the total cost of the ebook that you buy, because some ebooks are quite less expensive than another, and then you have some ebooks which is more expensive than the other. So this is more of like a case by case basis discussion that we need to look at on what kind of ebook you have and what is the total amount for your ebooks. But generally we try to keep the minimum amount as low as we can, so that we can help with the school and with the university to actually have the platform.
Sir, they are asking for the average cost for these ebooks.
The average cost for getting the platform going, right?
Yes, sir.
If I give you a rough number, I would say maybe I can't say for peso, but for the US dollar, I would say at least $1,000 to start, just to get the platform going and to have some ebooks in your systems.
Okay, sir. Another question from Dr. Merced of UP Mindanao. Can you publish MASTSLiNet journal? It's an unpublished journal, sir. I think sir is asking if you can publish journals not from your partner publishers, somewhat like that, sir.
I can look at the details that you have. So we are actually not a publisher ourselves, but we also have our partner that are the publishers. So if I have more detail on this, I can certainly discuss with my partners and see if we can publish the journal, and then I can get back to you on that as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So a while ago you said you have representatives here in the Philippines. So someone is asking how to reach them. You have any contact numbers or email for them, sir?
Yes, I do have some email and contact numbers. I will get you the contact, and then maybe you can share with everyone here.
Okay.
The contact that we have there in the Philippines as well. So I'll try to get the email and the phone numbers, and then I will share that with you soon.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Another question is from Ma'am Catherine Caballero. What programs or what programs are included in your ebooks, sir? The different program offerings.
For our ebooks, it's actually in-house development. So we develop the whole platform together with our partner here. So for the ebook, we actually partner with a software development house, or what we call a software house here. So we have our platform available on the web, on Apple, and on Android. So we don't use an open source ebook platform because we want to make the platform to match with our customer requirement and to be a bit more flexible. So that's why we decided to develop our own ebook platform in-house rather than use an open source ebook platforms.
Okay, sir. Thank you. What are the degree programs these ebooks are from, sir?
Can you repeat that?
What are the degree programs included in your ebooks?
The program that I use in the ebooks.
These ebooks can be used by what programs or degree programs? Is it only science, technology, or?
Okay, so the ebooks can actually be open with my ebook platform. So everything is online. So if you know Netflix, right? So my platform is very similar to Netflix. So we have a catalog of ebooks on the website, and then you click on the ebooks, and then you can start reading from our website without needing any outside ebook reading programs.
Okay, sir. So in general, your ebooks, sirs, are more on science, more on technology, more on social sciences, or something about history, stuff like that, sir?
Yeah, we have a wide range of ebooks, but it is mostly based on education.
Okay, education.
Of different level as well.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Another question from Dr. Bastida. How about downloading of ebooks? Can we download the whole ebook in one setting, regardless of the number of pages?
You mean the concurrent users that we can have at once, right? So to answer that with more clarity is that we don't let our users actually download the ebooks. That would violate the license agreement that we have with our publishing partners. But the user can actually read ebooks based on the number of license that the library buy. So if the library buy 2 licenses for an ebook, that would mean that 2 users can read the ebook at the same time.
Okay, sir. Someone is asking what is the name again of the platform, sir?
The name of the platform that we have is called the Unify. So Unify you will not be able to find online. Is it something that we implement internally for the university or for the school? So we have not made our ebook platform available online like Amazon ebooks or any kind of public ebook. So our ebook platform is more a private ebook system for our customer.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. So another question from Ma'am Betty Zelda of Mindanao State University, General Santos City. Sir, how compatible is your security gate to the existing integrated library systems in some libraries?
So far, we have integrated with many kind of LMS, including Koha here in Thailand. So as long as the LMS supports the SIP2 protocol and the API, we can connect our security gates or with our hardware to any kind of LMS available today. So I would assume that most LMS today or all LMS today already support either the SIP2 protocol by 3M or by using the API.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Another question. Is the ebooks in your platform perpetual?
Can you repeat that? Thank you.
Is the ebooks perpetual or can be used perpetually?
Okay, so when we sell ebook, we actually sell it with a different plan. So with one ebook, you can purchase it as a yearly license for a cheaper price, or you can purchase it for a perpetual license. So that is what we call a lifetime license. So you can do it both ways. You can either purchase yearly, annually, or you can purchase perpetually, and you can also choose to buy one license or more number of licenses for one ebook.
Okay,
so we have both options.
Thank you. Another question. What is the frequency of your hardware?
The frequency of our hardware, so normally we use the UHF frequency for the RPD, if that is the question, right? But we also use the HF frequency. So we support both the UHF and the HF, but typically we will try to tell our customer that the UHF might be a better option just because that it reads the tag faster and then at a longer read range as well.
What about integrating the barcode, sir?
Integrating the barcode with the hardware, you mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, the barcode will be in the LMS systems, right? So our hardware already connect with the LMS. So we match the RFID data together with the barcode. So when our hardware reads the RFID, it goes back into the database, and then it will try to match the RFID and the barcode together, and then we can identify the resources using that method.
Thank you so much, sir. I guess there's no more question from our participants. Okay, sir. Another one is, do you have different sizes of RFID?
Different sizes.
Yes, sir.
You mean the tag?
RFID sticker.
RFID speaker.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you mean the mobile checker, the handheld reader, right?
The sticker, sir. The RFID sticker.
Which one would that be? The RFID speaker? I'm not too sure.
The tag. The tag.
Oh, the tag, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we do have different size for different items, but the one that we have for the books is the long one, so that you can hide, and then you can hide that in the book spine. But we also provide different size RT tags depending on your requirement or your needs. So
Um, the Okay, sir. Thank you. Another question. Is Trace on server can host all Koha server of all MASTSLiNet member libraries?
well, our server is usually for our own hardware, right? So all our hardware are connected to our Trace on server. And then the Trace on server will actually connect to another server which will have your Koha or your LMIS or the other system. So we try to separate the server of our hardware with the server that you have already internally, just to keep things a bit more separate, but we use the API to connect different systems together.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Any questions from the participants? From our YouTube listeners, do you have questions for Mr. Artit? So if none, thank you so much, sir, for your time and effort for answering those questions.
Yes. Thank you, you too.
Okay, so let's move on to the next part of our program. So the awarding of certificate of appreciation to our dear speaker. So I'll read the citation. A Mindanao Association of State Tertiary Schools Incorporated through Mindanao Association of State Tertiary Schools Library Network, MASTSLiNet, presents this certificate of appreciation to Artit Daratanarosh in recognition and appreciation of his invaluable contribution as resource speaker during the MASTSLiNet 6th General Assembly meeting and seminar workshop with the theme Contactless User Services for Silk Libraries with a Union Catalog. The role of research librarians in innovating and securing resources for knowledge development during a pandemic, held on 18th May 2021 via webinar jam. This will be signed by Dr. Nelson P. Cabral, President, MAS Incorporated, and Wenda B. Sejas, RL, President, MASTSLiNet. Thank you, sir. So we're almost done with our day one of our seminar. No, just info for everyone. We have at least 154 watchers from our YouTube live stream, and we also have 203 participants in our webinar jam platform. Thank you so much for participating in the day one session, and the MASTSLiNet is really looking forward to seeing with you again tomorrow with our day two session. This has been your moderator for today, Carl Joseph C. Borlat from Zamboanga Peninsula Polytechnic State University, saying stay healthy and safe. Goodbye. Okay, for announcement for tomorrow, we will be using the same link. So please check your emails. The same link will be given. And please be early so that if there are technical problems, the RTL can still accommodate you. The link for tomorrow's session will be sent again on your email. So please make sure you have the correct email address. So if none, thank you everyone for participating in the day one session. And we are looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Shout out to everyone no in the chat box, bibo kayo tong chat box good. Thank you so much, RTL. So in behalf of the MASTSLiNet, we would like to thank RTL no for making this day one session possible, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and happy lunch, MASTSLiNeters. Thank you, Mr. Artit. Stay healthy and safe there in Thailand. Bye, sir.
Bye, Sir Carl.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, sir.